Hello and welcome back everyone to the video series dedicated to a season of the challenge that is so ready to get to that final. That's right, we're talking about the challenge season 25 Free Agents episode 11. Now let's start off where last episode left off, and that was Leroy and Laurel flipping over the kill cards, and they were going to be going up against CT and Cara in the wrecking wall. However, when we got to the end of the episode, we got that to be continued card. So we are starting out this episode with the elimination, and we are going to be witnessing CT versus Leroy, Cara versus Laurel in the wrecking wall, which we've seen in this season played twice in episode 2 and in episode 7. And the guys are up first. And when taking a look at this matchup, we are getting a titan battle of two guys that are very similar in build and in strength. We have Leroy standing at about 6'1" and CT standing about 6 feet, and both are muscular. This is CT pre-dad bod, and this is going to be a great matchup when TJ blows that horn and the guys are just punching through this drywall. And when looking at how these two guys started, CT looks a little bit smoother than Leroy getting up this wall. It seems like when he punches through the drywall, he is able to hold steady a little bit easier than, say, Leroy, as we see Leroy kind of stumbling as he's getting up this drywall. And in the confessionals, he's saying how when he punches through the drywall and he's holding onto it, when he holds onto it with such a tight grasp, it starts giving a little bit with his feet and with his hands. And we can see that happening as he's getting up this drywall. However, CT and Leroy are kind of neck and neck. And then at one point, CT is able to pull away from Leroy, ring that bell, win this elimination, and move on to the top 4 of the guys. And Leroy is sadly sent home. He did a great job this season. He could have won this one. It just wasn't in the cards for Leroy, and he is being sent home. Now we move on to Cara versus Laurel. This could have been a matchup of monstrous atmospheric proportions. However, Cara's coming in with a cast on her arm, and she is playing the one elimination game that is so much to her disadvantage. I mean, coming into this challenge season, Laurel and Cara were best buddies. Before that, they were rivals. They were on Rivals together. They became best buddies, and now they are heated rivals once again. They are having to face off against each other in this elimination, possibly right before the finals. And it's just kind of soured because, again, Cara's in a cast, and this is already coming at a height disadvantage because Laurel is so much taller than her. It's not looking good, and it doesn't look good throughout this whole elimination as TJ blows that horn. She is trying her hardest to punch, maybe using her one good hand to punch and then hold with the cast and then trying to use it the whole way up. She's trying to use her feet. She's trying to use her elbow. It's just nothing is working, and nothing is working fast enough for her to make up the time that Laurel is just zipping up this wall, rings her bell. We know Cara is frustrated, but she gave a valiant effort this season. She did a great job. Cara is being sent home with Leroy, and Laurel and CT win. They get to stay in this game, and before heading back to the challenge house, that's when TJ is like, hey, everyone go home, pack your bags, and we're going to the Andes Mountain in Chile. And everyone is excited. They're running back home. They are celebrating. They're getting all their drinks. They're packing up all their bags. They are so excited because they know that they are close to the finals. If not, they are already in the finals. This is what they've all been working towards this whole season, and now it is coming to a head in Chile. The challengers finally arrive in Chile, and they get to the house, and let me tell you right now, this is instantly in the top 10 challenge final houses of all time, in my opinion. It's like a nice log cabin in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of the woods. There's a nice lake, there's a ton of woods, and then across the lake there is a giant volcano that is just spewing out this smoke. And Johnny Bananas finds a book and says that the volcano's name actually translates into the House of the Devil, which is very fitting for a location for the final challenge of a challenge season. Everyone's getting some rest and relaxation, kind of like the calm before the storm. Speaking of which, everyone gets on their challenge garb. They go to meet TJ thinking that they're going to be hearing about the finals. However, TJ says that this is actually the final draw of the season. Everyone's going to be taking part in this draw, and what you're going to have to do is flip over these kill cards. There's 2 blank ones and 2 kill cards. Whoever flips over those kill cards will be going up against each other, and whoever wins secures their spot in the finals. Everyone has a 50-50 shot of going into the elimination, and right now it lines up that the only 3 people that have not seen an elimination so far this season is Nany, Devin, and Johnny Riley. Zach is up first. He gets up to the card, he flips it over, and it is blank. Nany gets up there, she flips over her card, and it is blank. Johnny Riley goes up there, blank. Oh my goodness. Johnny Bananas and CT will be going up against each other in the final elimination of this season. And what I really like that they did in this episode was that they had the person flip over the last 2 cards to show that there was actually kill cards on the stand. I actually like that transparency. We move on to Devin, who goes up there and she flips over her card, and it is blank, meaning Teresa and Laurel will be going up against each other in the final elimination, and Laurel goes up there and flips over the last 2 cards, and it is revealed that those are the 2 kill cards. And now we have the head-to-head matchups for these final elimination, and what they're going to be doing is called Puzzle Pyramid. And in Puzzle Pyramid, there are 6 total puzzles. Each person is going to be on one side of this pyramid, going up the pyramid, 1 puzzle at a time. The first person to solve their puzzles on their side first and ring the bell wins this elimination, gets to stay in this game and move on to the finals, while the person that loses will be sent home right before the finals. Soul-crushing loss will be had by 1 man and 1 woman today. So the women are up first, and TJ blows that horn, and they're going through this thing. This is like one of those puzzle that is all weird shapes, and it's all one single color. They're doing this, and right off the bat, Teresa is like freaking out. Her face is all like, it looks like she's already in pain. She looks like she's already about to cry. Laurel finishes this out first, and she moves on to the second puzzle piece. Teresa is freaking out, especially when Laurel finishes up her second puzzle before Teresa is even done with her first puzzle. And now Laurel has a huge head start on the final puzzle on her side. Teresa's still doing it, still freaking out, still moving around. She finally is able to calm herself down. She finishes the first puzzle, she gets to the second puzzle and finishes that one. Now she has made up a ton of time. Now both women are on the final puzzle. They're both having a significantly difficult time on this. It's a 3x3 grid, and what you're gonna have to do is put the numbers that they give you in a way that it adds up to 15 no matter what line is being looked at. They're taking a while, and then finally Laurel looks over and says, "Hey, do I have this right?" TJ says, "Yes, you do." Laurel gets up to the top step, rings that bell, and she wins herself into the finals for free agents. Teresa just comes up a hair short. It was a great job that she did, as she made up a ton of time. She could have just easily lost it on that first puzzle, but Teresa does a good job. Now it's up to the guys, and it's CT versus Bananas. And looking at their track record on the challenge to date, to this season, to this moment, CT has a better track record with puzzles than Bananas. However, when we look back on this season, Bananas recently won in a puzzle challenge against CT when they had to do the crossover daily challenge. They had that giant triangle puzzle where it was all the puzzles with weird shapes and they were all the same color. Very similar to the first puzzle in this puzzle pyramid. That could be some momentum on Banana's side coming into this puzzle pyramid challenge. We get into it, they're doing this thing, and Bananas is like thinking that he's like a genius. He is saying that he's not even thinking, his hands are just moving without him thinking about it, and he is able to beast out this first puzzle, head to the second puzzle before CT. However, he doesn't have that much of room to be working with because CT gets through his first puzzle pretty easily. He moves on to a second puzzle. Then Bananas makes it through the second puzzle pretty quickly, moves on to the third puzzle, and in no time flat, Bananas wins this third puzzle, is able to easily figure this out before CT is even done with his second puzzle, and Bananas is able to ring that bell. He wins into the finals, and sadly, CT is eliminated. He will be on the same flight from Chile to the US with Teresa, and CT comes in as the returning champ from winning Rivals 2, and he had a great job, a great season in this challenge season. It just was not enough to win against Bananas in the puzzle pyramid. Then once we say goodbye to CT and Teresa, that's when TJ really hypes up this finals and tells everyone that they're gonna really have to dig deep to win this one and dig a little further to really push past their breaking point to win this finals that is coming up. And that's when everyone goes back to the house and we get some of the thought process that everyone's in. We get to see a little bit of what Laurel's thinking about. She's thinking about her prior seasons coming into this season, and she's never been eliminated. She's always made it to the finals up to this point, and she's consistently gotten second place in her challenge appearances. And then we move on to Nany, who's really trying to process everything that's happened in this season and really trying to wrap her head around what it means to be in a finals and what to do once in the finals. Like, she's never been to a finals up until this point, so she's really trying to figure out how to come at it. She's trying to get mentally prepared, but she doesn't know. She's talking to Bananas, but she's really trying to like settle in. She's super nervous, which, I mean, who wouldn't be? This is your first finals and you're going up against really strong opponents coming into this finals and this free agents. I mean, this is going to be a tough battle. And then we move on to the house, thinking that Devin isn't even going to finish this finals, but Devin is using that as fuel and as strength to push past her breaking point and to show up everybody that, hey, I can do this thing. But now they wake up early in the morning. The next day they go to meet TJ at 6 a.m. where TJ is going over how this final is going to be played out, and it's going to be played in 5 stages. And the first 3 stages will be played in guy-girl pairs. That means in the first 3 stages, you're gonna be competing with a partner, and then when you go to another stage, you're gonna be switching out partners. So you're gonna be working with every single person within this challenge to make it fair, and then you'll be playing the final 2 stages of this final challenge as a solo player. And once everyone reaches the top of the volcano, that's when they'll tally up everyone's time, and the one man and the one woman that has the quickest time in this final challenge will win their prize money and be the challenge champions of free agents. Now, they decided to streamline this whole final, and they're going to pick all the teams in the first 3 stages right off the bat. In stage 1, the teams are looking like Johnny and Nany, Devin and Zach, and Bananas and Laurel. Then in stage 2, the teams will look like Johnny and Laurel, Devin and Bananas, and Zach and Nany. And finally, in stage 3, the teams will look like Johnny and Devin, Zach and Laurel, and Bananas and Nany. The first stage that they're going to be getting into in this final challenge is one where they have to get into this very cold, rapid river, go and get their paddles. Once they get their paddles, they have to get back up onto the shore, grab their kayak, and then kayak to the next stage. And everything is going to be timed. So once you get to that start of stage 2, they'll clock your time, and then everyone will start off on a even playing field. So everyone is ready to go. TJ blows that horn, and they are running to their oars. They're grabbing it. They grab their kayaks, and they are off. And of course, Bananas and Laurel are out first. They have a great head start. And then the next one up is Johnny and Nany, and finally Devin and Zach. And Devin and Zach are having a tough time working together. Zach, we know, is wound up very tight. If nothing goes his way, or if nothing is going his way, he gets super frustrated, and that's exactly what he's doing. They're not working together at all. Their kayak just keeps on spinning around and around. They don't have good communication. Bananas and Laurel are a machine, and they are just gone. They have taken off. They have such a huge lead on the rest of the competition. And then Johnny and Nany are actually working really well together. And then Devin and Zach, again, are really struggling. They finally get to the rapids part of this river. They hit a rock, and their kayak just completely turn over. They are in the water. They have to have the rescue raft come pick up Devin, and then the guy's like, hey, where's Zach? And Devin's like, I have no idea. He went down the river a little bit. And then we end this episode with Zach flopping around in the river, and it's kind of scary. He's going down in slow motion. He is trying to keep his head above water, and I think that's just going to be the theme of this challenge finals for Zach, it seems like. But we're gonna have to wait and see as we hit the credits. And like I said, that is a crazy way to end this, but I'm glad we got to the finals part, and I cannot wait to see what's going to happen in the rest of these finals. But that is it for this episode. I'm turning it over to you. What'd you think about this episode? Let me know that in the comment section below. What'd you think about the elimination that played out between Leroy and CT and Cara and Laurel? Let me know that in the comment section below. And also, what do you think about them going to Chile? What do you think about the final elimination of the challenge season called Puzzle Pyramid? And coming into this finals, what do you think about the finals being played in 5 stages? And what do you think about stage 1? Let me know that in the comment section below. But thank you so much for watching. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really soon with more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.